and play some Warframe. So
there you go, man. Come home, play some Warframe, enjoy the evening, and then hop on Brap.
yeah. Although I probably should have took a nap. Probably not. If I would have taken a nap, I would have been a lot better off. But yeah. Although I probably took a nap. Probably not.
No doubt, man.
So what you guys been up to?
Not much, man. Just same thing. Working like crazy. Taking my kids to football practice, man. Trying to get a little gaming in.
Yeah.
Every now and again. Just been playing 2K.
Have you guys played Forza Horizon 4 yet?
I played like the first 10 minutes of it.
I have not.
I played
beautiful looking game.
Yeah, I played about when I finally got home after doing all the work I did, and it was really late. And I said, you know what, I'm playing something tonight. So I my download for Forza was done, and I played for about a good little while, maybe 2 hours. I made it to the autumn season, and man, I'm not really into racers like that, but this one's pretty fun. It's I feel like it's made for me, not the guy who is, the hardcore. Let me change the shocks and struts.
Yeah, I want to tune my suspension and yeah.
I'm gonna double change the oil. I don't give a crap about that. I don't care about how the car runs.
Double change.
I do like how some of the cars look, but just in 2 hours, I already got like a dozen vehicles, and I won maybe about 4 or 5 races. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm gonna keep playing it. I just gotta get more people to play it, because everyone I saw is if other people have already played it, you'll see their avatar in your world just driving around. And so I've seen a lot of people that I know in there, but not actually play with anyone yet. So I need to do that. So
yeah, I saw your driver tar stealing races, but that that's
you know what, Enrique, I think I feel this hate. It's right on my shoulder. I need to just shake it off, just because it's just so unnecessary. I don't feel rate. Well, that would actually, I probably would do that in racing. I don't care if I run you off the road. It is what it is. I'm trying to win. But
oh man, I remember I used to play on Xbox Live. There's this guy I used to play with he was super competitive. I don't know what racing game it was. It wasn't on the 360. It was on the Xbox One. Man, I used to get mad when people bumped him to pass him.
Yeah, that's
get mad as shit right now, man. Yeah, get so mad. Oh man, that's a cheap way to win, man. It's some bullshit.
Why is it a big issue?
I mean, man, a lot of people, if you've been playing Forza for a long time, especially the motorsport series, and you transition over to Horizon, a lot of people, a lot of people are casual, you know what I mean? So they're just rolling around racing, and they're bumping people off the road. And a lot of hardcore guys, they don't like that shit, man.
Nah, they really don't.
I would have never known, because honestly, it's not half the time. 50% of it is not me doing it on purpose. 50% of it is the fact that I suck at racing games, and I'm just trying to stay on the road. My drifting ain't too great. So sometimes I drift way too far, and I may just bump you off the road. Just so happen your vehicle being in the way kept me in the road, and then I'm not going to apologize, but it wasn't intentional. So yeah, I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off when I start playing more co-op stuff, because you'll go up to a race, and after you get to I think it's only after you get to the autumn season that you can start doing playing against other people. You can co-op with people in your session, or just do versus, and there's a rivals thing too. I haven't tested that rivals thing out yet. I think that's still locked for me. I think you gotta be a certain level to get to that, but I'm having fun with it. It's I'm not a racing dude, so this for me is all just, hey, I don't really care if I win or not. I just don't want to get it. As long as I'm not last place, I'm good.
I hear you, man. Yeah, that's. I tell you what, though, man, it's a good looking game.
It is amazing. I love it when you hit like a mud puddle and it's just like it goes all over the screen and you can really feel like your car like grind down and you know with all the water that comes in. It looks amazing. I Playground, I tip my hat off to them. They really did a great job.
No, they did a hell of a job, man. I'm telling you, it's probably the best looking, easily the best looking racing game that I've played.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you know what the sad thing is that I actually now have all of the Forza Horizons and I'm not even a racing dude. So I got the first two through not Game Pass, Games with Gold. And I bought the third one with because it was on like super sale, like back in April, like for like $10. I'm like, well, hell yeah, I'm gonna pay $10 for Forza Horizon 3, like the highest rated Xbox game this generation previously. And so I'm like, but I never played 2 or 3. And after playing this, I don't think I'm gonna go back. I mean, just like it was like, what would you go back for? Achievement points? Because otherwise, it's like this one outclasses the other ones. It looks better from what people say. It plays better. Like, what would I be going back for?
Yeah.
So is Playground Microsoft's best studio right now?
Yes,
I would say so. Yes,
I would say so. They are. I mean, it's funny you asked that question, B, because as I was playing the game, I'm like, this is Microsoft's best studio,
and they did in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, you got to.
To the fact that, and I said this on Scumcast last weekend. 2 years ago, they came out with not just the best racer this generation, but they came out with the best game, Forza Horizon 3, the best game that Microsoft has on their platforms. Then 2 years later, they topped that.
Yeah.
2 years, just 2 years. So to me, I'm like, you know what? Why don't Microsoft start like having like their team leads for like Undead Labs, Compulsion, even 343 and the Coalition? Have them come out, to England, go sit down, we'll Playground, and just see what their message is.
Mate.
Exactly. See just sit around for a weekend or a week and just see what the method is. Like, not necessarily like take all their tools or anything, because these guys, they all do different things, but just kind of figure out like how is it that you're able to get the level of quality that you're getting in a short period of time, because that's even something that you can say like the Naughty Dogs and the CD Projekt Reds of the world can't hit that level of quality in a short period of time. It's kind of unprecedented to me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat, by the way. Chief Tomei says, can we all agree that the music is pretty weak? I kind of like the music.
Is it supposed to be? This is my ignorance. I only played the first one before this one. Is it supposed to be like popular music that you know?
No, it's like this shit sounds like drum and bass to me, but
you can change stations.
Can you?
Yeah. Hit the right direction on the directional pad. It'll change your station. Because I've there's like a kind of like an old school hip hop station. There's like then there's like an EDM station. I've been going back and forth between those two. I do kind of agree with Chief. It's a little. I mean, I was expecting to actually hear like an artist or two that I was familiar with, but I mean, I guess it's okay. It seems like they may have. You know what? I heard something about the reason why Forza Horizon 2 is being pulled from the store is because they could not continue to keep paying for the license of the music.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Maybe that was one of the reasons why they went with such a this type of selection of this game, just so they don't have to run into that in next 3 or 4 years or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because can you imagine like in like 2023, like you're still paying for the license for the music of a game that's really like old and no one's really the money from that game isn't justifying how much you're paying for the license. I could really see why they say, we just pull the game.
Oh hell no! That's absurd to do that, to keep paying for something that people aren't playing. So, real quick, guys, we are live.
Chief. So you can change it.
Back into the bushes. He's funny, man. But yes, welcome everyone to another episode of Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We are a tech affiliate. Forget to say that at the beginning of most shows. So I made it a point to remind myself not to forget to say that. But yeah, we're back. Have an exciting show. We are missing Mr. Gaming Forte.
No,
He's having.
Oh,
there he is. He's back. All right. He was having some mic issues or something, right?
Man, this mic, man, good. Whenever something's supposed to happen, everything goes wrong.
Oh boy.
Is that the $500 mic?
Absolutely not.
If that's a $500 mic.
It's not a $500 mic, sir. This is a headset.
Okay.
I think it's something wrong with my interface for my. Got to take that to Guitar Center, get that looked at.
Oh, okay. I hear you, man. Well, Gaming Forte, glad to have you on, and actually, we have a pretty big announcement this evening. The Braff family has grown. We are growing, have grown, and we have added a new. She said, "I'm very excited. We're all very excited about this. A new panel member. No, the Gaming Forte himself. Welcome to the family, Forte.
Thank you, sir. Hey, I get to mess with slow-mo even more now. That's a dream of mine. No, shout out to everybody. Really appreciate the invite. You guys had 127 episodes before I joined, and I hope just to make the next 127 even better. So, thank you.
No doubt, man. We are, like I said, man, we're definitely excited to have you on, man, and enjoyed having you on the last 2 weeks. And you bring a counterbalance to Slow-Mo's lying and tomfoolery.
Oh Lord!
Hey, look, Slow-Mo brings the truth, and Enrique brings the lies. Yeah, I need to understand. Enrique,
I bring the pain.
Hard.
Oh, really?
Pain. Okay.
I bring the pain. That's what I bring.
I make sure every once in a while make sure I let Slow-Mo off his leash. He gotta talk sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
What? He joined the team, then he started talking all funny. I'm like, hold up, man. Hold up.
I'm just messing
Slow
with
your roll.
I gotta give you shit at least one episode a day.
Yeah, that's funny, man. That is funny. No, but yeah, it's Forte, we are really happy to have you on, man, and happy to have you on for the next 127 plus podcast. By the way, big shout out to Mr. Eric Jackson. Couldn't make it this evening, but Eric, we miss you, man. Thinking of you, and look forward to your return soon. So, Forte, we were talking about Forza Horizon 4. Have you had the chance to play that yet?
Funny, I'm playing it right now. It's so good. It's great. It's amazing. I said this on Lance podcast the other day. I just basically talked about how this game really coexists really well with other games that you like to play. Me being a huge Destiny person and that game being the predominant game I like to play. The one thing I like about Forza is the fact that you don't feel like you have to play the game to progress through it. You can actually take your time and, play a mission here or do a race there or compete in the Forzathon there. You don't have to do anything in the game that you don't want to, but everything you do in the game helps you progress through the story. And just going through the different seasons really does make a difference in the way that you actually approach the game. And the one thing that I just like the most about it is I didn't think that they would be able to one-up themselves with Forza 3. That was freaking incredible. And the fact that this game is basically Forza 3 on steroids in a different part of the world with different change. Instead of it just being dynamic weather, we have full-flown, just seasons that you can actually just participate in. I didn't think that this was something that they could even do. And this has definitely cemented that Playground is by far the best developer that Microsoft has right now.
Facts.
And and that's not hyperbole. That's just basically saying, the Coalition, they only had one game so far. We know Gears of War 4 was good, but we don't know what 5 is going to bring. But we do know the steady track record of what Playground has done ever since they started making Horizon. It's just gotten better and better. And they're the first one to actually answer that bell to say that, hey, we can actually make a better version of a game that's already good. And that's one thing that most developers can't say. Usually when you follow up something like that, it's got a lot of misses. And this one, it checks every box. And it's pretty amazing and pretty cool.
Well, I agree with you 100%. 100%, man.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because while you were getting your mic together, we were talking about it, and we all three agree that Playground Games is Microsoft's best studio. And you come in and start talking about it and say the same exact thing. I mean, it's the proof's in the pudding. I mean, it's like the highest rated games, the best quality, and how exciting is it that they are going to be making 2 new games. One's an action RPG, and we don't know what the other one is, but to see them adding so many people to the studios and just branching off and making like 3 different teams, it's pretty exciting times. I mean, I'm really looking forward to what they're going to make.
No, it's good, man. It's good that Microsoft's letting them kind of spread their wings a little bit, because that's what Sony's done with some of their studios. We look at man, who are the guys behind Horizon Zero Dawn?
Guerrilla Games.
Guerrilla Games, yeah, and they were making what's it called, Killzone, before. And look, I mean, they went from a shooter to an open world action RPG. I mean, and it turned out well for them. So I'm excited to see. I'm really excited to see what they're gonna push.
The next game is gonna be. Yeah.
I actually I think that Microsoft's reputation for being very, I guess, heavy-handed and strict with developers on their first-party titles, I think is a bit outdated. Because if you look at recently, you would look at the kind of games that we've been getting lately, and it just seems like, where's the quality assurance at? Yeah, take like Sea of Thieves, for instance. Like, who decided this was a game?
Well, that
was ready to release.
Yeah, ready to release. I'm like, at this point, it's like, what? Who's looking at this?
But you know what? The one thing I will say, and this is me taking a shot at my favorite game, but a lot of games do this. A lot of people would have said, who at Bungie would have let Destiny 1 out the door in the ridiculous state that story was in, but that game still released with no single player to speak of, pretty much. So if a company that's got $500 million banked into it is what Activision put into it, I can see a game that Microsoft really didn't put that much money into doing the same thing. So as much as I love Destiny, I will always hold that against Bungie, because that is almost the reason I quit Destiny in year 1, is because that story. If it wasn't for the fact that the gameplay kept me there and no other game really captured me, and the Master Chief Collection came out the door broken, I probably would have never stayed on. I probably wouldn't be enjoying the game as much as I am now. But to say that this doesn't happen on a frequent basis is kind of crazy, because it happens all the time.
I'm not going to say it's crazy. I mean, look, we all know about the story of Bungie and what was going on behind the scenes and the reason why the story turned out that way. It's not like it seems to be a pretty drastic difference between what Bungie went through, where it was all this internal fighting over the focus of the game, what the game was going to be, and how it would turn out, versus Rare, where it just seems like having a narrative and a story just wasn't really even important or in the cards until the people got the game and was like, is this it? Where's the rest of it? And then now they start to come out with content updates that are putting in the narrative, a story, characters that you may actually know names of and stuff.
Let me cut you off real quick, man. It's games as a service, baby.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, but that's the thing. Okay, so have we had a game that was built completely around selling around and nothing, and the whole game is just about interactions and the stories you have with the friends that you're doing when you sell around and become a pirate? Have we had any game that did that?
And should
as a pirate?
Should we have a
we
game
had
that
games
does
where
that?
you've been pirates before, but it wasn't about anything else. It was just about the pirate life. It was nothing else involved. I mean, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the one people probably would say the most of, but even that game took place more on land than it did on water.
It's true.
So, when you have a game that pretty much is based on the one thing that most people don't do in their life, which is sail, you could kind of understand why the story can be kind of lacking, because they probably didn't even know what the story, was going to be until it got into people's hands and they got feedback on what people wanted. And the only way you're going to understand what those people want is by just throwing it out there. That's why, think about it, that's why Warframe is what it is now. That game has become the juggernaut that it is in the free-to-play space just because they threw it out there to their community, and the community has shaped that game to be what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is you pay for Sea of Thieves, which, I can understand is the one downside to the whole argument.
That's a massive difference.
Well, if you pay, most people, if you were smart, you got to do Game Pass.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody that paid for that game.
If it wasn't for Game Pass, good grief. Like,
I agree. I would agree with you on that.
But this is what all I'm coming back to is that, like, the whole, Microsoft has a heavy hand on their devs and they can't do anything they want to do. I'm like, well, it looked like Rare did everything they wanted to do and then some.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't turn out to be, I always kind of remember when Corey Balrog, for the guy that was director for God of War, talked about how their first build of God of War, they sent it to Sony, and Sony was like, nah, this ain't good enough. Take that back, work on it, do better.
Mm-hmm.
And we got God of War, literally probably going to be game of the year this year.
Boy.
Like maybe, somebody, maybe Phil should have looked at Sea of Thieves and said, nah, come back and do better. Because, and I know they needed games, of course, and they need to get something out there, but I'd rather, it was in Miyamoto that said that, I can't remember the exact quote, but basically keep delaying a game until it's good.
Something about a broken game releasing is broken forever. Something, I don't remember the exact quote, but something like that.
That's true to a point. Some games have really disproven that fact. I mean, Battlefield 4 was a buggy, broken mess for over a year. Yep. And that game is by far, up to this point, probably regarded as the best Battlefield game that's released because they put a lot of time into it. Division, same thing. Game was just stupid in the beginning.
That game's still garbage.
I won't go that far.
Shut up, Enrique.
The game has been all over the place, but look where it is now. People are looking at the second one with the thoughts that this could be the best thing ever. And then you got Destiny and other games like that have really changed the perception. I think this is something that was really a mindset earlier, like probably during 360 and early Xbox One and PS4, just because online wasn't such as big of a play as it is now. But with games of a service, with updates happen on a consistent basis on games as they get released out, for us being the people that are the old guard and we remember what games used to be like when you used to buy them and they were complete out the box. There was no patches. There were none of that other stuff. You got to think of the people that's growing up now. They're used to this type of stuff. They're used to getting updates the day one update of a game. They're used to getting day one DLC or DLC within a week of the game being out. This is something that is, accepted across most of the gaming community now, and they're taking advantage of that.
Is it really accepted? Because I see a lot of people complaining about it.
Well, no, the people you follow are the people the people you're following are the ones that's making a fuss about it. But are you following the new gen, the adopters that will take these games into the next generation? Are you following those people? Because those are the people that's not really talking.
So you're saying the casuals?
Yeah. Well, not even the casual, because casuals become, hardcore gamers. Sooner or later, sooner or later, a game will flip on you and make you become hardcore. It may not make you play every game that way. Call of Duty wasn't as big as it is now. It got big because the casual audience gravitated to it, and then they became hardcore Call of Duty people. They're still not hardcore gamers for every game, but for that game, they are.
Doesn't mean they're hardcore gamers, though.
No,
Dude,
if you put thousands of hours into a game, you're a hardcore gamer for that game. That can't be mistaken.
That's not casual gaming.
No, that's not. That's far from casual gaming.
That's far from casual gaming.
So someone who puts thousands of hours into Minecraft.
Oh boy, here we go.
Or Fortnite.
Are you ready for this, Forte?
This is a hardcore gamer.
So let me ask you something. Hold on. So I get a bunch of.
First of all, hold on. Don't try to.
Let him make his point.
Without even actually saying anything. Okay, Forte, are you ready for this? I mean, like, you're dismissing my argument without actually giving me a rebuttal, which is bullshit. And you don't really actually have an argument to actually come at me with a rebuttal and not that nonsense.
Go make your point, man.
I already made my point. You haven't made a point yet.
What? Okay. So what's your point? That
I will probably say that I lean more towards the way that Slow-Mo feels. I feel like just because you play, like if you put 2,000 hours into Fortnite, like yeah, you enjoy Fortnite, but that doesn't categorize you as a hardcore gamer.
Exactly.
It doesn't? Okay, no. So let me ask you something. I have 80,000 gamer score, 88, almost 90,000. I had 78,000 coming to Xbox One. I only went up 11,000 since the generation started. Okay. Mostly due because I play so much Destiny, and that's the one game I play. So the 9,000 hours I put in Destiny, and pretty much the only game I played this generation, does that classify me as not being a hardcore gamer? No, because I played one game 9,000 hours?
Because your history already shows that you're a hardcore gamer.
Yeah.
No, but you can also become a casual gamer over time too. Just like you can become a hardcore gamer, you can literally become a casual gamer.
Yes, you might. It's about interest. It's about interest in the gaming industry, the community, games in general, overall. They like you. Your example, you play Destiny just as much as these kids now that are playing Fortnite, and most of them are only really playing Fortnite because everyone's doing it. But they don't really have an interest in the gaming industry. They don't know or care about the 3 big platform holders. They don't know. We all know that within the next 2 years, we're going to get next gen. They don't know about this kind of stuff. That's what makes you a hardcore gamer, when your interest is aligned, and it's more than just I play Fortnite. It's I'm a gamer, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. That's who you are. That's not who the majority of these Fortnite players are. Just because you play Fortnite a bunch of hours doesn't mean that you're a hardcore gamer. It just means you play Fortnite.
No, look, man, you put 4,000-5,000 hours in on something. It's just like if you play basketball. You put 5,000 hours in basketball in the course of a year, or however much.
Does that make you a professional athlete?
Yep. It doesn't make you one, but that means you are working to be that way. Anybody that plays Fortnite or any game for that much, why do you? Speaking of which, how many hours you got in Division, Slow-Mo?
It's probably up at like 18,000.
God, what the fuck? 18,000 or 1,800?
18,000, I think. Yeah.
Jeez, what the fuck?
No, I'm sorry. You're right. 1,800. It's 1,800. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't think it's possible for 18,000. They would have had to give me a daggone plaque or something.
Right. So
I'm at 1,800. Go ahead.
So what is the purpose of why are you at 1,800 hours?
Because I really enjoy the game.
But what is the driving force for you to be at 1,800 hours?
It's a looter. And I like that carrot, the kind of the carrot on the stick mentality of you're always grinding for a particular goal. Go ahead.
I'll say. So would you say that your motivation around that game is one of your motivations around that game is to make your character better, to go out and get better gear so you can be more optimized to do things in that game.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And why a person that plays Fortnite that wants to go after all the skins and wants to grind and doesn't even do the microtransaction, they just buy the little $10 pass that unlocks the pass, and they grind out season after season just so they don't look like everybody else. Do you consider that the same thing?
Nah. I don't
Why
think that's
not?
the same
Because
thing.
it's a cosmetic? Why not?
It's well, there's no progression really. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. There is a progression to Fortnite. It's just that there isn't, like, it doesn't really stay with your character. Everything is as you said, cosmetic. But the difference between me, who plays the Division a lot, is that I'll always go back to the Division, but I have interest in other games. Like we were talking about Forza Horizon before. I'm playing Destiny 2. I beat Spider-Man. I'm actually going to go play the Order 1886, that piece of crap. I'm going to, like, I have interest in other games, and my interest in the gaming industry is what separates me from a kid who just plays Fortnite.
Okay, but would you also say that a lot of those people that play Call of Duty went to Fortnite and are going to probably go back to Call of Duty when the blackout mode happens?
See, like, I don't want to say all of them.
I know that's why you say all. I said a lot of them.
Yeah, but okay, a lot of it, but it's still it goes down to the individual. Those Call of Duty players, like, are they actual hardcore gamers? Like, in regards to, they play Call of Duty every single year, but we know people in this community who play Call of Duty every single year, but they play other stuff. If you just play Call of Duty and that's all you care about, and you're the kind of guy that Sony makes a commercial for Call of Duty and puts PlayStation at the end, and you don't even realize that it's also on Xbox, you're a casual gamer, man. You're not a hardcore gamer.
We're identifying two different things, though. We're identifying people's idea of wanting to play different games versus games that are the ones they just prefer to play, and that doesn't determine you as a hardcore gamer. What determines you as a hardcore
gamer, that's your opinion of what.
No,
we have a different opinion of what a hardcore gamer is. We're both having a different
opinion on what hardcore gaming is. Overall, I just believe that if you're a person that plays Call of Duty, they don't put 3,000, 4,000 hours into the game to suck. You will stop playing the game if that was the case. Because if you never felt like you were getting better at the game, you wouldn't keep playing it. If you felt like you wasn't progressing in the Division, and the shit would get boring and stale to you, just like it did in Destiny for a lot of people. People got to the end game, and the end game was not worth you playing. That's why people left the fucking game.
I'll tell you what separates a casual gamer or just a hardcore person for one particular game and an actual hardcore gamer. Let's go back to your example about Call of Duty. Just an example, we know this is not going to happen because it makes too much money. But if Activision just said, we're not making Call of Duty no more, this is the last one. There's going to be no more after that. A hardcore gamer is like, well, dag, I really enjoy Call of Duty. All right. They're still gaming. Whereas a casual gamer who only just plays Call of Duty, he's done with gaming because his game that he played is gone. That's the difference between a hardcore gamer and a casual gamer.
Okay, but we see that happen with Call of Duty over the last 4 to 5 years with the numbers dipping and dropping because they weren't listening to the player base and they were changing stuff that the people didn't want them to change. And it looks like this will be answered this year. We'll see how well this Call of Duty does because the blackout mode is really carrying it. If we get back to, we probably will never get back to Black Ops 2 or MW3 numbers, but if we start seeing 20 million sold again, then that conversation you just said goes out the window because that means those Call of Duty people have always been there. They did go play other games. They went to go play games like Fortnite. They went to go play games like
you just made an assumption. You don't know if they actually played anything at all. You could have played nothing at all, and then Call of Duty came back and they came back to Call of Duty. You don't know what those other people who
Epic came out on a conference. Not Epic. Yeah, Epic came out on a conference call and said that they saw a dramatic drop in their player base when the battle royale, the blackout mode was out for Call of Duty. So that right there tells you that there is a correlation between the Call of Duty fan base, a lot of those people, and people that went to go play Fortnite. So they went somewhere. They didn't just quit.
You're taking two
I think
different. Okay, go ahead, Enrique.
I think it's an assumption to say that if you play Call of Duty goes away, you're not going to game anymore. But I also know that when you take surveys, I've taken these surveys, they're defining like casual and hardcore gamers based on the amount of hours that you play gaming, not by whether you follow the industry or, you know, you check news sites or you know that next gen consoles are coming out in 2 years. Everything that I've seen in terms of surveying, and I might need to ask Matt Piscatella about this too, but everything that I've seen is defined casuals and core and hardcore gamers by the amount of hours that they play a week. So I think I agree with what you're saying, Forte, that I think it's based on how many hours you put in, whether it's 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. It's about, at the end of the day, how many hours are you sitting? Yeah, how many hours are you sitting in front of a TV playing games versus doing something else?
Well, I would say that's a flawed criteria to use in the survey that based upon hardcore gaming, just by the sheer fact that
how is it flawed though?
Here's why it's flawed. We had recently reports coming out from different studies claiming that, you know, gaming was a addictive an addictive activity, and they based that simply based upon the criteria of how many hours someone's playing a game, and that doesn't determine someone is addicted to gaming. So like you just can't say someone's a hardcore gamer just because they play 1 game a lot of hours. It's just
the point is they're gaming versus doing something else.
I think the biggest thing is, and we can agree to disagree on it. That's just how we are, and there's nothing wrong with that because I love slow mo. I just think that there's a difference between a hardcore gamer and an informed gamer. They're 2 different things. Informed gamers can be a higher level of a hardcore gamer because in order to be informed about the industry, that means you dabble and you understand different trends, different games. You probably play different games a lot to actually know what's going on in them. I think that is the better description for somebody like probably Slow-Mo or even me when I used to play a whole bunch of different games. And I mean, honestly, because I work in games too, so I don't consider myself I consider myself a hardcore gamer, but I consider myself more informed than anything. You know, just because I play games doesn't mean you know everything. You don't know, like you said, you don't know everything about the industry just because you play games. But if you're informed, that means you dabble and you kind of do these podcasts, you read articles, you listen to trends and stuff. So that's more of the moniker I would say is what fits what you're trying to say, Slow-Mo.
Okay, this will be my last point because I don't want to bog the podcast down just this topic, but I would say they go hand in hand. It's being informed, being having a lot of your time and interest caught up in gaming and in the industry, the community, whatever, and also being a gamer. I think it's the same way where I say you're not a hardcore gamer if you just play 1 game a whole lot, is if you're just informed in the industry but you don't game, you're not a gamer. Because they're like executives for these publishers who they understand the business side of the industry, and they stay informed with all this stuff, but they don't play games. Obviously, by the kind of decisions that they make, we know they don't play games. So that doesn't make them a gamer. It takes really both. You have to be someone who plays games a lot and someone who's also really interested and involved in the industry. That's my opinion. Fine.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this.
I'm with you, Slow-Mo. You ain't out on the island by yourself, dog.
Split panel, 50%.
But split panel. But Eric Jackson would have been the tiebreaker in our favor.
Hey, maybe I'll make a poll on Twitter and we'll.
There you go.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, put a poll out there. Forte, you have a question in the live chat.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Don't Call Me Danny says, why does GameStop charge so much for used games when they try not to be competitive?
All right, so I'll give you a answer to that, because when I was at conference this year, they actually addressed that. You know, one of the pieces of feedback that some of the associates gave them was, how can you sell a used copy of a game when the new copy is, you know, slightly more, and the only way you get a benefit of it is if you have the membership card. And they are going to adjust pre-owned prices. That is something that they said they are going to do. They're getting rid of some of the $56 prices and $54 prices. You should start seeing that in the near future. But the biggest thing is, it's all about capitalism. You know, you are willing to, you're basically willing to buy what you're willing to afford. You know, people always complain about how the company or how GameStop gives them such low trade-in prices. Well, I honestly believe if you were an informed gamer, like most people should be, you should be waiting for the right time to get rid of your stuff. When I trade my stuff in, I don't take huge hits on my trade-ins when I do it. I literally only lose probably $20 to $25 on a game, and that's like months after it's released. You know, most of the time, if you trade those game in right after it comes out, you're losing $30 instantly just by it could be the next day. But if you wait for like some type of good trade-in promotion, those games can trade in for $40, $45. Like Nintendo games, Switch games, they were trading in for like $45 for like a good 8 to 9 months if you traded them in during the right promotions. So that's one thing. Now, when it comes to the pre-owned prices, you know, it's just supply and demand. If the company doesn't have a lot of them, they know that they're going to sell regardless, and they know that people value that 7-day return policy if you don't like your game. So you're really not paying full price for that game. If you don't like it, you just bring it back to the store. But if you decide to buy a game for $54 and keep it, that's you basically did is you saved money on a purchase that somebody else, you know, bought earlier, and you have the option to get rid of it if you want to. So I mean, I'm not trying to damage control for them, because I think it's wrong to sell games for that much. But if you're willing to buy it, why should they change the price on it as much?
That's a great point, man. If people open up their wallets and buying this stuff, they're going to charge. They're not going to change their pricing
unless somebody comes out and does something better. Why you think that new Elite card came out? And honestly, that's the reason it's gone now, because Amazon was killing them upside the head with that discount 20% off when you pre-order games, and Best Buy was doing the same thing. So
Best Buy had the best deal.
They had the best deal, and
$10 gift cards. Oh my god, man!
And GameStop mimicked that for 6 months, and then when Best Buy got rid of theirs, guess what? GameStop doesn't have theirs anymore. Amazon doesn't have the pre-order incentive no more. They only have, if you buy games within the first 2 weeks, you get the bonus.
Yeah.
So everybody's changing something now, and competition is good, and that's why even in video games and sales, and if you really look at stuff like that, you'll realize that those trends happen everywhere you go. It could be in a job, it could be in games, it could be in sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for answering his question, man. We appreciate that, Forte. We like to interact with the folks in the live chat. Chief Tommy wants to know what the fucking topic is. what the fucking topic is this?
It was Forza, and then it turned into other stuff.
Yeah. But hey, we got some news on Crackdown 3. Phil Spencer tweeted out that he's recently played a full build of Crackdown 3, saying it's making good progress. Although he did say that the game still needs work. Oh boy! When I heard him say the game still needs work, I'm like, is this game really going to come out in 2019? I mean,
out, man.
It's gonna be the next generation in a minute, bro.
Hey, so AB, do you think they're just going to take it on the chin, man? Just say, you know what, fuck it, it's out. We got to get this game out.
I think at this point, man, just take it on the chin, release it, get it over with. It's coming out early enough in the year that, you know, by E3, people won't even be talking about it anymore. Just take it on the chin and get it over with, man. There's too many games coming out in 2019 to, you know what I mean, try to hold your hat on this one. You got Gears at the end of the year or whenever they decide to release it. Who knows what they're doing with Halo Infinite. You know what I mean? Like, spit it out there and fucking get it over with.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Forte, what do you think, man?
They shouldn't even sell this goddamn game. They should just put it in Game Pass. I mean, dude, at this point, like him saying this game's not ready, and I'm not saying they shouldn't make money off the game. So
that it still needs work.
Saying this game still needs work. I think this game should never hit retail shelves. I think this game should be something that's exclusively in Game Pass because you shouldn't even want people to go out and spend $60 on a title like this after all the stuff has been going through. And honestly, as a consumer, you shouldn't want to. This is the one time that I think Game Pass should be the number one option for this game. And if Microsoft had they should offer free. That should be a month that they say, hey, we're giving everybody free Game Pass for the month of February so you guys can try Crackdown 3. Because
that actually would make sense. Yeah, that'd be a great promotion.
Sell this game. This game should not be for sale because it's probably going to be broken about all belief. We haven't seen any unless they come out and show multiplayer at XO18, which I think is what they need to do. Because if they come out and they just show a trailer again, this game is dead on arrival. Tomb Raider just released, and we're not even talking about that game anymore. I don't know what this game is going to do. The only thing it's going to do is give Xbox people a headache because all the PlayStation people are going to be down talking it for the next year. So just take your L now and just don't sell this game. Just give it away for free at this point.
I like your point about the Game Pass promotion. That would make sense. Free Game Pass for the month of February, and then you could try out Crackdown 3, and then Game Pass runs up. You don't have Crackdown 3 if you like it. You have to buy it anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But Slimo, any thoughts on Crackdown 3? I know you're excited about this game.
Yeah, excited. Like I'm excited to get an enema. Good grief. You know what? Like I agree with B. Just release the game and just forget it ever happened. Just be like, don't even patch it. Just be like the game's out there. Oh, it's buggy. Okay. They're like, don't even. Just act like it does this after it comes out. Just like no, what's the Crackdown 3? No, like just release it and just forget about it. It's not going to go well. I mean, like the studio, one studio that's left making this game, Sumo Digital. You look at their resume, it don't look too good. And I tell you, if Microsoft comes out, and I know we might talk about this later on about Microsoft and XO 2018, but if they come out and say they purchased Sumo Digital,
that's what someone said.
I might have. My head might explode. Like they cannot purchase this studio. They don't. They have never made anything good. They've always been a secondary studio. This is their only time ever being a lead on a game. And I'm just going to be straight up and honest. Microsoft went to the bottom of the barrel to make this game. They went and got just anyone to make a game. Anyone that would, and I don't know, like majority of these studios that we're working on and aren't anymore. I every time I think about who they are, I have to go Google them again.
They have 3 studios working on it, and like 2 are like, I'm not even sure. One
doesn't studio exist anymore.
Yeah, the website's down, doesn't exist anymore.
It's just what is happening here. The other one was purchased by Epic. And it's now been incorporated into Epic to do the cloud work for Fortnite. So,
and then wait. Someone asked Matt Booty, like, are you guys still using CloudGen? And he's like, oh, we're very confident in our technology or something. Or
just kind of skate. So you're using Azure at that point. It's just like they're too scared to cancel it because they already know the backlash is coming, and they haven't really talked about it literally at all. You know what I mean? Besides like this tweet that says that Phil Spencer has played the game. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, like they haven't talked about Crackdown 3 at all. If they don't show the XO18, man, just throw this shit out the window. Nobody's gonna care about it anyway.
Yeah, I will be. I'm gonna say I don't expect to actually see real gameplay for Crackdown 3 at XO 2018. I don't think it's going to happen. And if we do see anything, it definitely won't be the destruction in the multiplayer.
I think
we won't see a game. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, they're just going
they have to show the destruction of multiplayer because that's what they sold the game on. They got to show that.
But they haven't shown it since what, 2016?
Shit. I think maybe 2016.
They haven't shown it in 2 years. So I mean, if the game comes out in another 4 or 5 months,
that's pitiful in his damn self.
just release the game. Just like don't even give out review copies.
Look, man, get that.
Hey man, the Last Guardian. Hey, the Last Guardian can do it. So can Crackdown.
No, man. Last Guardian was a single player game too.
This is true. This is true.
And that shit took 16 years.
I actually, guys, I do think they're going to show it at XO18. That's just I think they're going to show it because it's releasing in February. Maybe I'm optimistic about it, but I think they're going to show some footage.
I think they'll show it January inside the Xbox. That's when they'll finally show it.
No, please, not with Major Nelson.
Yep, he's gonna put the gloves on. He's gonna show us the Crackdown 3 controller, and it's gonna have Terry Crews' face on the whole.
Wow!
And then they're gonna show 5 seconds of the game.
And have Terry Crews flexing his pecs on the remote.
He's the only saving grace for this game. He might give it 5 extra points on Metacritic.
Someone said on the live chat, Terry Crews will be on a walker by the time this game releases.
So
funny. All right, I just want to put this out there. We are not, for those who are not listening to us live or are listening to us live, and those who will listen later, we're not ponying right now. We're not hating on the Xbox. We're just voicing our concern as consumers. Got to preface that.
Oh man.
We'll get some like hate mail or something. Yeah, so interesting. We'll see what happens. But I tell you, this thing doesn't come out of XO18. I agree with you. It's time to throw it out the window. Yeah. Hey, real quick, guys. I know this wasn't an official topic, but any interesting? What do you guys think of this Harry Potter RPG that apparently leaked? Apparently it's a real thing. It's called Magic Awakened.
Yeah.
WB snatched all the footage down, man. So it's real.
Yeah,
that shit came down quick.
Yeah, you can't upload it anywhere now without it getting snatched down quickly. So it's definitely a real thing. Looks interesting. I thought it looked pretty decent. I mean, I'm not a Harry Potter fan or anything, but
that looks all right. I'm not really interested in Harry Potter. I'm not really interested in Harry Potter, to be honest with you guys. But
I don't care about Harry Potter, but anything that has RPG elements, I'm down to check it out.
I'm just thinking
that's where I'm at too. Yeah,
I'm just thinking of a full fledged out game mode of Quidditch available in it.
For me, I always kind of also feel like any game that has like a license, like it's an intellectual property that's outside of gaming, I really just want to make sure. For me, I just want it to be a quality game because I really hate when I see like how the Batman games used to be before Rocksteady took over. How it's just like everyone just knew they're just making this game to promote the movie or a cartoon or something like that, and the game is really lackluster and no one gives a crap about it. That, from what I saw of the Harry Potter game, it looked pretty good. It looked like some studio with talent is really putting that work in on it. So even if I don't get it, I really hope it turns out to be good.
Yeah, you got to look at what WB has done with some of those properties. I mean, with Lord of the Rings, with Shadow of Mordor, what they've done with with Batman, with Mad Max, like they've put out some quality stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Harry Potter.
It's a good point, B. They definitely put out some quality. You would never think WB, but they definitely have put out some quality stuff. They actually did release Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery for mobile, and it looks like, from what I'm understanding, J.K. Rowling is looking to expand the Harry Potter universe, and this is part of that expansion. So, I don't know. Could be interesting, but like I said, it's probably not for me because I'm just not a Harry Potter fan.
You're not a Potter fan?
I'm not a Potter fan. I don't know. I just, it was cool, I guess, when the movies were out, and then, I don't know.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be cool if they do have this, that when you go to Hogwarts, they have, you know how they sat down at the table in a sorting hat, pick the team that you were on. It would be really cool if they had some type of RPG element where you had questions and the way you answered your questions throughout some parts of the game before you got to that dictated where you ended up at. That would be cool. They can do a lot of cool things around that game.
Yeah, like as you're on that train to is it Hogwarts? I can't remember. I haven't seen the movies forever, but they had it's an RPG, so you'll have like dialogue, and then if it's anything like a BioWare RPG, branching dialogue choices that you can make. And so if you're acting like an asshole, maybe the sorting hat was like, you're going to Slytherin,
right.
kind of your decisions prior to you getting there kind of determine which house you get in.
What house you go to? Yeah,
that'd be interesting. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, and speaking of XO18, there's rumors that Microsoft was going to announce maybe the acquisition of another studio. And Slow-Mo, I know you put this out there, man. You think they're going to buy Obsidian?
Yep. I do believe Obsidian is. I think they've already purchased Obsidian. They're just waiting on the moment to announce it, which will probably be XO 2018. If it's not going to be them showing potentially game, maybe a trailer or announcing a game from the new studios and purchases of new studios, what's the purpose of doing it? Just have your regular inside Xbox. That's we know what inside Xbox gives you. It ain't much, but but I mean, I'm not just basing it off of speculation. It's and shout out to the Iron Lord podcast last Sunday. I can't remember the gentleman that was on his name, but he works in law.
Yeah.
And he dropped a lot of knowledge on how the law side and the legal side of this gaming industry goes. And when it was actually Sam Talbert, I don't know if he's listening or not, but shout out to Sam. Me and Sam almost asked the same question at the same time about the letter of intent Microsoft has been confirmed to have sent to Obsidian. And the way he broke it down to a lot of people that were listening, it's like, well, wow, if of a letter of intent basically goes that far where Obsidian can't talk to other people and you're really like looking at assets and lining everything up. I mean, it just seems to me like it's a done deal. And that was back in June. So now we're in October. I just think they're definitely going to announce that they purchased a new studio. They even, Phil even said this. And then when he announced they were bringing XO back, he mentioned as an example of what XO could bring when they acquired Rare in the previous, they announced that at a previous XO. I mean, that to me just seemed like it's just way too many hints, and they're definitely going to announce the studios a purchase, which I'm all for because I like Obsidian.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100% on this one, Slim. I think that they have acquired them. I think they're going to announce this at XO 18. I think it's going to be a big announcement for them.
Yeah,
man, Obsidian has arguably made the best Fallout game that's come out.
Yep, New Vegas. Yep,
I disagree, but that's okay.
That's why I said arguably. That's why I say fact.
Yeah, I would say the last Fallout was probably my favorite.
Really?
I just still think that New Vegas has some of the best DLC of any Fallout.
Obsidian also made Knights of the Old Republic 2, which I thought was when it came out, and BioWare, my favorite dev studio, wasn't doing it. I was like, man, what is this nonsense? And then I played it, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with Obsidian.
I'm cool. Hey, but so that was like everyone's reaction because we were like, whoa, wait a minute, why isn't BioWare working on this?
Yeah, I was like, man. The Obsidian they have a talent for taking something else that someone else did well, like Fallout, like Knights of the Old Republic, and then making a sequel or another game in that universe and knocking it out the park. They have a knack for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people speculating they may actually be doing the Fable game. There's some
people
saying,
are they going to do Fable?
It would make the most sense.
Yeah, it's either going to be them or Playground. It just seems to be so many people like, oh, well, my sources, unnamed sources say.
I got my sources in my ass are telling me that.
My ass sources. Hold
on, my ass is speaking to me. Hold on for a second.
Yeah,
side information from my ass.
Yeah, it's so much stuff going back and forth. Playground turned Microsoft down on Fable. Their action RPGs, a new IP. Obsidian's going to do Fable, or
I would much rather prefer it be that way, man.
Mm-hmm.
You prefer Obsidian doing it? I would. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Obsidian doing it either.
Yeah, I want Obsidian to do Fable, and I want to see Playground flex their muscle. You know what I mean? I think with them being the most talented studio right now at Microsoft, you know what I mean? I think they could really hit it out the park with a brand new IP. We know we aren't going to get one from 343 or the Coalition, so
yeah,
our best chance to get something that's going to be high quality out the gate and really knock it out the park. So, if it's new IP, I'm down for it.
You know, honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with Obsidian or Playground for Fable, which is fine for me. I'm a big Fable fan.
I think Obsidian.
I can't. Go ahead.
No, I said I think not Obsidian. I think Playground is going to probably assist with some of the Fable stuff when it comes to the open world because that's their forte. But Obsidian would be the best choice for that. And when you just gave me goosebumps when you were talking about how if you give them a intellectual property that's already been established, how they can knock it out the park. Oh man, I was just thinking about if BioWare would have trusted Mass Effect Andromeda to the game, probably would have been so much better.
Oh yeah. But you know that's getting into EA. You know, EA doesn't.
No, I know, but just thinking about how they made Knights of the Old Republic 2 and how everybody was like, "That BioWare didn't make that." It's like, it's just now that when you said that, I thought about it. I was like, "Oh man, the game would have been so much better."
Yeah, Chief told me live chat says now Obsidian's going to do their retro style, in my opinion. A la pillar. I can't even talk. All Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, but Chief, also you read the same book I read. You read Jason Schreier's book, Blood, Sweat, and it's not Tears. It says Pixels, but
Pixels.
And Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Obsidian did Pillars of Eternity, and they did that retro style because it was cheaper, and it was a Kickstarter, and they didn't have the funding to make a game that would require like a better game engine, more resources. They had to use a lot of freeware with that, and even though the next Pillar of Eternity they make will likely be the same exact style, if Microsoft has purchased them, which we all think they have, Microsoft is going to give them all the resources they want. You want the Unreal 4 engine? Bet you got it. You want to use 343 what's it called? Slip Space engine? Hey, whatever, whatever resources you need now that you're a first party dev. It's the same thing that the guy with Undead Labs said about now that they are first party, that they now have access to resources that they didn't have when they were doing State of Decays 1 and 2. So I think just my opinion, I think Obsidian's gonna, go for, the best. They're gonna try to give us something that is going to be visually more modern than what Pillars is.
Yeah, agreed.
But also he did South Park Stick of Truth was also them too, and that was a really good game that really nailed South Park.
Yeah, I haven't played that, but I've heard great things about it.
Stick of Truth is freaking amazing.
It's hilarious. Like I have there was so much funny stuff that happened in that I would just record it. I was just recording it on my Xbox. I gotta record this part.
It's a 20-hour episode of South Park.
Yep. Yeah, it's really good. I felt the difference between that and the Fractured Butthole. I didn't finish it.
You didn't finish Fractured? Fractured Butthole was still pretty good.
It's still pretty good. It's just that I think when it came out, I wasn't. Yeah, it came out at the wrong time. I wasn't really feeling as much as the first one.
A couple delays or something like that.
I mean, both those games were delayed to high hell.
Yeah, and it's the South Park creators. They're the ones that they're
Matt and Trey. Yeah, they put a lot of emphasis on the things they want in the game.
Yeah, but it works out. Their property, their license. They are very particular about it, and they want it to be authentic and feel authentic. And it makes sense to me. I mean, those games got delayed to all hell, but when they came out, it felt like South Park. It didn't feel like a bunch of devs trying to do South Park.
Right.
It felt like you were playing the episode.
Sweet. Hey guys, not to kind of derail the conversation here, but I finally did pick up Spider-Man, by the way.
Oh,
finally. You're
finally.
I finally turned on the home screen for the game.
No, I was playing Gotsony as Luca likes to call it. And and then I moved, so that was part of it. Jesus, I just read what Chief told me in the live chat. I'm not going to repeat that.
People who haven't played the game, they're not going to get the context.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Yes. So Spider-Man finally got it, picked it up, played it, and wow, what an awesome game! I mean, the web slinging, the combat, and Simon just nailed it.
Yeah,
nailed it. I knew because it's funny. Like I heard people say, "Oh yeah, the combat's great." The web swing, the web slinging is great. But I'm like, yeah, okay, it looks all right. When you're actually playing it, it's the way they just hats off to Insomniac. They execute. It was almost to perfection. I don't have any complaints right now. I mean, I'm not that far into the game, but
yeah, I was about to say. So what you're saying?
No, I haven't played the Mary.
You haven't done the Mary Jane.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't done those. It's funny because Slow-Mo was like, "Oh, you finally got the game. That's great." And then he's like, he goes, "I can't wait for you to play the Mary Jane missions." I was like, "Oh man, I'm not looking forward to that."
Yeah, man, those things drag.
Yeah. There's such a change of pace. That's one problem, is that they're a major change of pace from you really being able to, as Spider-Man, handle a situation however you want. You can kind of hang back and kind of do what Batman does in the Arkham games, where you just kind of web a guy and like pull him up into the rafters and just web him to the wall and do stealth. Or you could just jump in there and just start whooping everybody's ass. So you could do either or, and it's when you get into a Mary Jane mission, it's very much hide, wait for someone to look away, then move to the next place to hide, and it feels so forced. That's, I think, probably the biggest issue I had with it, was just Mary Jane's trying to be Lois Lane and she's not doing a good job of it. Yeah, and it's just not who she is. It's just really weird. But
like I said, I'm early on, and it's funny you said forced missions, because I think, just to give you an idea how early I was late to the tests that Dr. Artavius was doing, and you end up doing some. I guess he's testing something, and something doesn't work, and you're fiddling with the circuit board. To me, that I'm like, okay, that's just. Why is he doing that? It's not necessary,
Yeah.
I thought that was just something that's kind of forced. Something I didn't enjoy, especially when you come fresh off a boss fight, and you're web slinging your way back. You don't want to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
you definitely don't. But yeah, again, hats off to Insomniac. It's great. B, have you've been playing Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. I haven't touched it as much lately, but I'm probably about 70% done with the game now.
That's right. You've been on 2K.
That's right, man. 2K every day.
Living that
2K life, maybe. That's right.
That 2K crack is what.
Let's talk about the 2K crack real quick, because we talked about this last week. B Money was kind enough to DM how much money he recently spent, and up came the who's the crackhead character for Dave Chappelle?
Is it Tyrone?
Tyrone, yeah. So we started we started replying with the Tyrone memes.
Yeah, it's the first step to recovery is acceptance, and it seems like
you have a problem.
that he has a problem. and now we just need to get him some help. So we're gonna get you in a clinic somewhere, hopefully, where there's no 2K around and you can.
How much? Would you care to share with our lovely audience how much you spent?
Oh man,
I'm probably close to $500 by now.
I have a couple. You know what? I got 2 customers that shop at my store that's over 700.
What? This is more, this you can buy a gaming. You can buy a gaming PC with this kind of money here.
Look, man, when 2K calls.
Wow.
Shit, man.
Man, you guys saw my transactions, man. I've been on Amazon.
Oh shit, buying those.
buying a VC, man.
Man,
they got me, man.
That's like another console, man.
I know.
I have one customer that literally would be over $1,000.
Yeah. You got a reporter?
Target had a promotion where every point card you bought from Microsoft or Sony, you got 25% off every time you bought one. And he was buying $100 one, so he was getting $100 worth for $75. And he bought like 7 of them.
Oh my gosh!
So he ended up spending he ended up getting over $1,000 worth of VC because he saved like $250 when he bought them all.
Okay, B, you gotta explain this to me because I just don't understand what would cost so much. Like, are you building your own team? Like, even the guy at the end of the bench, are you actually making a my player for him too?
Well, to understand what his struggle is, to understand what VC is used for. VC is used for everything in that game. Everything.
So your headband, you got
everything. Your headband, your beard, your
everything. Beard. You want to get a haircut? You need VC.
You want your deodorant? The new sweatshirt that came out this week.
You need VC.
You need that VC. You know what I mean? You want to wear your hat backwards? You want to put some sunglasses on? You need VC.
You know how some games have 2 currencies?
You want to turn the game on? You need VC.
You need VC. Exactly. You know how some games have 2 currencies where you get the in-game currency, then you got the microtransaction currency. See, 2K don't have that. 2K just got VC.
Oh my! I really hope they don't ever make an NFL game again now.
Yeah.
It'd be a wrap.
Can you imagine?
You want a different face mask than this crappy face mask we put on your helmet?
Want the Dickerson, baby?
Yeah. You want a football VC?
You want the alternate jerseys for your team?
If you want the football and 2K, it's 50,000 VC.
Oh my goodness!
Wait, what?
So like when you go to the playground, you can buy like different props. Like this year is like super crazy in the neighborhood, so you can buy like scooters and skateboards and stuff you can throw around. So like the football, you can buy a football to throw around in the park, and it's 50,000 VC.
Now, who knows how much 50,000 VC costs?
No idea.
$100.
50,000 VC is like $15.
Okay.
For football.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And I wonder why they're
isn't it $20 in the VC, 75,000? Yeah, so that's about 50,000. Yeah, for $15.
Oh my god! Wow.
All right, let's move on to
his mind is blown.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my mind around this. To be honest with you, I when B said 500, yeah. B, I'm not trying to shame you, man. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get in there and live that life, though, man.
No, I don't.
It is a lot.
I'm good.
Hey, but it's like when you go to the park, it's like, and I told people, and it's no lie, I told people this when the game came out. They said, "Oh no, I'm just gonna grind it out." I'm like, "Bro,
no, you're not."
I said, "Bro, you gonna go home, you gonna go into the park, and you're gonna see that everybody bought VC because all the characters are like 85, 86 overall, and you're gonna be like, I'm gonna try to grind this out, and then you're gonna get your ass whooped in the park, and then and then everybody that walks in the court gonna be higher level than you, then you're gonna be right back in the store buying VC tomorrow." How many people do you think came to the store the next day and bought VC? Damn near 80% of them.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! And then
You do not want to be a 60 overall in the park. You get
No, you don't.
every
It's not
single time.
fun.
And this is why I quit to like what we talked about this last week. This is why I quit 2K because I saw it like getting to that point, and I was just like, I can't have fun with this game unless I spend more money. And I'm like, that shouldn't be, and it's just my opinion, that shouldn't be how games are. When I spend my money up front, I should be able to enjoy the game at that point. And then if I want to go further with like further content, then okay, I'll spend more money to go play further content past the full game. But when it's just day one, I can't enjoy this without having to spend more money. I don't want any parts of it.
You want to know the funny thing, and this kind of relates to that. 2K does this. I mean, I'm not saying that microtransactions in games are great, but 2K of all the companies probably do it the best, just because they give no fucks, and they give you they give it to you with no Vaseline, and they basically say when you play this game, everybody's going to do it. And that's the one thing that 2K has. It's like no one complains about it because everybody already understands that if you want to compete in the park, you need to spend money. Just like in Grand Theft Auto, nobody complains about the shark cards because they know everybody that plays Grand Theft Auto Online buys the shark cards.
But see, they can do that because in those two games that you mentioned, they don't really have any competition. And NBA Live is getting better from what I heard, but it still doesn't compare to 2K. And until NBA Live can actually be a real competitive, and it's sad I'm even saying, EA with their microtransactions and how they roll is better than Take-Two here. But I mean, until they Live becomes real competition where people might say, you know what, maybe I'm gonna keep my rent this month and just go buy Live and not spend all this money on VC with 2K until someone is actually starting to make that kind of choice and debate in their mind. 2K is not going to change anything because they don't have a reason to. People want their basketball fix. B wants his basketball fix.
Damn straight.
And he's going to get it.
Live 2B, or did you just go?
I did buy Live. I bought Live. I played it twice. Haven't went back.
I don't blame you.
I'm telling you, but look, if Live gets better, EA is gonna take a look at what 2K is doing and do the same thing
too, man.
Do the same thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, next year,
and EA could do it even more because they have licenses to other stuff. Like they have license to like popular clothing brands and stuff like that. Like they could really take advantage of it if they went that route.
Oh, this is way off topic, but with FIFA, did you guys see the so you know how it is in other countries now? It's like you have to disclose with the shark cards for FIFA what the odds are.
What the odds are?
All that.
EA disclosed their odds, and so for the MVP players in the cards, they didn't even give a percentage. They gave a percentage for everything else. Like common player was like 90%, and then it went down from like 90% to the next highest was like 17, and then 4%. But for the MVP player, all they put was less than 1%. They didn't even give us the satisfaction of seeing what the exact number was.
Like 0.002%.
Exactly. And here's the crazy part. This is why they almost guarantee that everyone who plays FIFA is going to buy their shark cards, because if you try to earn it, those MVP players aren't there indefinitely. They're only there for a short period of time, like 2-3 weeks. So you got 2-3 weeks to get, earn the shark cards through playing and deal with that less than 1% that you still don't know what the percentage is. Or you buy them and keep buying them until you finally get what you're looking for.
Well, that's why those legendary and Hall of Fame editions are so prevalent, because they come with like like Madden came with a Hall of Fame player. Hall of Fame players are really fucking hard to get in Madden if you try to get them through the pack, but you're guaranteed.
You try to get that Deion Sanders, man.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
guaranteed for you get to pick one when you buy that version of the game. Same thing with FIFA. If you bought that championship edition, it came with one Hall of Fame or elite player, but then you also were guaranteed one legend player in each of the 20 packs that they gave you over the first 20 weeks. So that's where they want to get the money up front from you because they know you're still going to buy more later.
Yep, it's all a game, man. They figured it out.
We are in the wrong line of business, gentlemen.
Yeah,
we really are. We really are. Last topic of the evening: Google's Project Stream. I don't know if you guys saw this. I think some of you guys. I think Slow Mo and B. I don't know if you have. Which I think you guys signed up for the beta.
I did.
Yeah, I signed up. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and I looked at some of the streaming or some of the footage. It looks pretty good. I mean, they actually partnered with Ubi-Soft. They're going to be streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey via Google's Chrome browser to desktops and laptops. And this is Google's attempt at trying to perfect streaming video games. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this plays out. But I think if they can pull this off, this is they got to jump on everyone else. Obviously,
how far back?
Didn't they say 60 frames per second? Right.
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It was 1080, 60 frames.
Yeah. What I'm trying to is how is Google doing this? I mean, I guess if anyone could do it, it's probably Google, right? Yeah, I think Google, Apple, Amazon.
Yeah. How far back?
Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
I just want to know how far back Google and Ubisoft's relationship has gone. Because you remember, like a couple years back, Ubisoft was talking about this, and people were just like laughing them out of the building. They're like, major consoles will be like a thing of the past in the next couple of generations. And people were just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Consoles will always be around. And they were talking about how streaming was going to be like the next big thing. So I wonder how far back their relationship goes and what Ubisoft gains to benefit from this.
Yeah. And I do want to mention that Google isn't the only company that's trying to do this. I think NVIDIA is doing this now with GeForce Now technology. I think that's in beta testing right now.
Well, they've always done it through
the NVIDIA Shield.
Through the Shield.
The Shield, yeah.
And I heard that the quality for that's pretty good, actually. From people who had it, PC gamers who have it.
Yeah.
And of course, we know Microsoft is going to do something similar with their Scarlet box sometime soon.
Yeah.
I'm kind of I definitely signed up because I definitely want. I'm interested in Odyssey, period, and I might get it Black Friday, and I really wanted to try it out and see what the latency is like, and see if it really works. I mean, Google has cloud services. They're not considered reputation wise to be on par with Amazon and Microsoft's, right. but they are pretty robust. And I think I think if they can do it, I can pretty much tell based off of the requirements that I don't think they are attempting to be innovative with it the way Microsoft is trying to by having it all run server side and then stitching, as they said, kind of stitching it together so that it runs on low bandwidth off of your network. But because they said a minimum 25 megabyte per second download in order to do this.
Which is not a lot.
Yes, that's really not a lot.
That's not a lot these days. I mean, I think most basic plans are probably at 25, right?
Well, I mean, there's some areas where look, like I have a friend who just joined the military, just got out of boot camp, and she's in Texas, and she's mad because where she's at right now, she's getting 5 meg per second.
Oh, damn,
that's crazy.
And there's a lot of
on the military base.
Yeah, and it's a newer military base. They told them, look, we're gonna hook you guys up. We'll upgrade it soon. But what they're talking about upgrading them up to is just gonna be 20 meg. So it's and a lot of places in Texas are like that, and a lot of the Midwest, they don't really have broadband internet, and it's because the population of some of those areas aren't high enough for an ISP to justify digging the lines and getting the copper or fiber out there. That's millions and millions and millions of dollars spent to get a very little return on investment. So they just don't do it. And so that's why hopefully Verizon 5G really works out, because it's less expenses for the ISP to deliver broadband. But until then, it's a decent option for people who have decent internet.
Yeah. Would you guys agree that this is the future of gaming?
I think we're definitely headed in there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Forte. My bad.
No, you good. I was about to say, I think is next 5 years. No, I think within the next 10, though, depending on where internet goes, and if we get some type of looseness on the data restrictions on people having caps and stuff, this will happen within the next 10 years, because this is something that everybody is starting to pivot to, and I can see, guaranteed, probably within the next 15 years, everybody will be streaming games, because it will become the more convenient thing to do versus even clicking on a button on your system to download a game. They will be even more convenient than buying digital games at a certain point.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like you said, 10, 15 years, technology will be much better.
Yeah,
at that point, and I think you're right.
I don't think it'll happen within 5 years.
No, I think these are baby steps, but I think 10, 15 years, it's going to be the norm, where we're just streaming everything to our TV.
Yeah,
which I'm all for, by the way, because
I think it all just depends on what Scarlet is, what the Scarlet box is. The Scarlet box comes out and it's a hit out the gate. I can see it.
Oh, I can see it happening faster then.
Yep, I can see it happening pretty quick, the next 5 years or so, depending on what Scarlet is and what it brings to the table. I think it could change a lot of people's minds real quick.
Hey, if that Scarlet box is only $100, like it's being rumored to be, I think it's going to be a hit. Even if it's just going to be, because I'm trying it for $100. Yeah, I'll pick that up. I'll put that in my office with me. Like I think that price point is and is really good with companies when they really want someone to try new technology. They always kind of make it like they remove those barriers of interest. Like to go back to Verizon 5G, for the people who are getting it in the 4 cities that are going to get it, and starting this month, it's free for 90 days. There's no contract. You can quit whenever you want. It's a minimum of 400 megs per second download and only $70 per month. Like, and when you're in an area where you don't have broadband internet, that's a no-brainer. When you're in an area where you do have broadband internet, but you have a data cap and there's no data caps for that, no-brainer. So like Microsoft bringing in Scarlet Cloud Box for $100 and their competitor is selling a system that's going to be $400 or $500. Gonna have some people that's gonna be like, hey, if they claim it's gonna play all the same multi-plat games that the competitor has for $100, sure, I'm gonna try it. And so like when you remove those barriers of purchase away, it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna try it.
Yeah, you get a lot of people who would traditionally wait for the $400 console to get down to $200 to jump on it right at the gate. You know what I mean? Like, everybody who doesn't have cable right now has a Fire Stick. That's because the Fire Stick allows them to get the same access to stuff that they wanted at a lower cost. That's the same thing that the Scarlet Box would be. Gives you the same access to all the games you wanted at a lower cost. People will be all over that.
Yeah, especially those people who do things that I'm not going to condone with their Fire Stick.
Are you talking about jailbreaking Fire Sticks?
I would never, Enrique. I would never say that. No, jailbreaking. Yeah. Jailbreak that bad boy. Get anything you want on it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is or what that means. I've loosely heard people throw that term around. So, oh, you know what, guys, we got to wrap up the show because Luca wants to play Got What did you want?
she she sent me 2-party invites. I told her, I said, give me like 10 minutes, so she actually came in the chat.
Oh my goodness. What is she
Hey
playing?
man, Destiny calls, man.
Look at her. She's like, I'm ready to play. That's hilarious. And actually, Luca, your timing is actually perfect because we're getting ready to wrap up the show here. So a short show, which is fine. I don't think it was a big news week in terms of gaming, but yeah, other than that, gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up tonight's podcast. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat, and big shout out to oh shit, I forgot his name now. Chief Tomei, who kept the chat very interesting. Chief, thank you. Your quote regarding South Park was very interesting. No, Lucas says I always sound sick and dead.
Hashtag explain.
Yes, please explain to us about this, Enrique. Are you dying?
No, I just don't get any sleep, man.
Yeah, that baby.
Yeah, it's a problem. So anyhow,
yeah, that's a good excuse. That's a good reason.
Yeah, that's the reason. So, Forte, man, again, welcome to the family. For those of you all who missed earlier, Gaming Forte is officially a member of the Brad Podcast. So welcome again, man.
Thank you, sir. Very much appreciate it.
Yeah. So, big shout out to Eric Jackson. Couldn't make it tonight. We miss you, man. Hope everything's well, and we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love you guys. See you next week.
Hashtag Spectres.
Hashtag Spectres, bitch.
Oh boy.